probably a way to bring up first and second together. So, 6650 XT, decent graphics card, the 4070, 3060 Ti, 2080 Ti. Obviously I'm using some pretty damn good graphics cards, right? I need to fix that one because there is no such thing as a 3080 um, in these settings, which, like I said, we'll talk about, the CPU is really the important thing, where these graphics cards, unless you change the quality to be greater, um, it's not as important. These are all like CPU bound settings. Here's a 1050, folks. So, able to get it done with a mediocre setup, right? And there are plenty of people that obviously can't afford this kind of gear. I'm blessed that I have this channel and put all the money back into the hardware. So we pretty much, have been able to bang out a lot of stuff. 1650, there's $100 some card now. Able to get it done with a higher end CPU, 3080. So most of these GPUs not needed for FortNite, right? 3050, getting it done there. Now, my preference obviously is the more horsepower, the better. You can see RAM-wise, my minimum is 16 gigs that I use for RAM. You probably see some victories in here with 8 gigs, but most of the time, it is 16. What's my preferred setup really is 32 gigs, right? So that's what I'm using. Does FortNite need 32 gigs? No. I do find that 16 gigs seems to be better in there. So looking at that, the next thing, let's look at what settings did I went at? 1080p, a lot of 1080ps in here recently. What's my preferred setup, to be honest with you? I have a 4K 120 hertz Sony Bravia TV. That is my preferred setup. Screen, honestly, right up in my face is probably a little too big, but feels like you're cheating a little bit. But I think you'll see, looking through here, there's a lot of 1440p's, maybe not as many 4K victories in here, but they do show up. Now, what's the best thing about 4K for me is when I bump up the quality as well. So we have a beautiful picture. And depending on what hardware you're running, right, this is a point where you go, well, the 1050 is not going to get it done. That's when you do have to throw some better hardware at it to get, higher frame rates. On the low end, the CPU, when I say the low end of the quality scale, the CPU is getting it done. The graphics card really is not as important. Now, something like this, 4K Epic No Shadow, the 3090 here, first place there. This is, probably my favorite setting of any of them, right? When I have enough horsepower, and that means, good CPU, good GPU, good RAM, this is, what I want to play at, right? Now, do people really Google these? Not necessarily. That's not really the setting, that people are Googling. You can see, I make so many videos, folks. There aren't that many people that are actually looking at it. But if you go back, in history, and I hope this just brought up FortNite, you can kind of see what are the more popular ones. Well, one time it was 1080p competitive. A lot of these, maybe 1080p low, 1080p competitive. Those were the big hitters for resolutions that people were really searching for, right? Now it's 1080p performance low, or performance epic. But once again, very CPU intensive setting. So, do you guys need 13900KF to play Fortnite? No. Does one need a i9 12900KS? No. Probably, I'd say that the best spot is that i5 13600K And you can see even going back to the i5 11600K, I had quite a few victories using that. So obviously the gamer's ability comes in a lot. Hardware can help you quite a bit against people that have crappy computers. So you will find that you can get it done, if you have good hardware to include the mouse, the keyboard, monitor. And hell, if you need glasses, make sure you're wearing glasses too, because that's not going to hurt if you've got the screen up in your face and you can't read very well without your glasses, right? So those are my thoughts, folks, on hardware for FortNite. Thanks for checking out my video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.